Hello, hi everyone. Good evening to one and all. Welcome to another interesting FB Live session organized by ILT, and I'm your very own Richard Caroline. Good evening to one and all. I'm just waiting for others to join. I hope you are all doing good. So before we start with the session, I would like to take a moment to extend my sincere gratitude to each one of you for your great acceptance for my previous live. It's so good to know that the information that I have provided was helping a lot of you there. So I hope today's session is also going to be really informative.
Good evening to one and all.
So let's see who are joined there. Christy, hi Christy. Lindsay, hello. Bincy James. Good evening, Christy. Hi there. Lena, hi. Bonnie, hi. Smita, Shiju Kamal, Richard ma'am, hello. Abi Saiju, good evening. Sonia, hi. Hello, Steffi. Ada, hi, good evening. All right. Okay, I'm just waiting for some to join. I hope you are all doing good. So tomorrow we actually have an exam for OET, and I hope most of you guys might be attending the exam also. So if you're attending the exam, please let me know in the comments, as well as if you can let me know which place you're from, I can decide on which language I need to stick on to most, okay? Hi, I'm doing really good. I hope you all are doing really well. Okay. So it will be really good if you guys are writing the exam. If at all there are any examinees who are appearing for the exam tomorrow, please let me know in the session. So we can discuss a lot of information for that, okay? All right. Good evening to one and all, okay? So before we start with the session, I would like to tell you that today we are going to unravel a reluctant case scenario together. That means you can create sentences and I'll be giving you live corrections. Sounds interesting, right? So I have prepared a cue card here and I will be giving you time to prepare sentences for each task. Before that, we will see all the information given here, including the setting, the background information, and I'll show you how you guys can start picking the irrelevant informations to move forward with your conversation. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm all yours for the next 1 hour. So we have quite a lot of joinees. Gayatri Ajit, hi. Ayana, hello, hi. Steffi is from Kollam, hello Steffi. Jaisal, hi. Mridula, hello there. Maria Joseph, hi Missy, good evening Maria. Vijay Manu, hi. Kiran, hi. Sabin, hello. Bincy, hi. Yes. So I know that when we ask our candidates, the most difficult area most of you face is to convince a very reluctant case. But if I ask you a question like, is it really difficult? The answer would be no, because we can deal with all type of scenarios and we have the potential to do that too. So today we are going to see how we can approach that one, okay? So we are going to start with the session right now. So the first thing you have to do when you get a cue card is to understand where the entire scenario is taking place. So where can you find that information? You can find that information in this setting area. Okay, so once you read the setting, you will get to know where the entire conversation or where the entire scenario is taking place. So that is the importance of setting. ഇവിടെ വരുന്നൊരു കോമൺ മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ സെറ്റിംഗ് കാണുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ കേസ് നോൺ ആണോ അൺനോൺ കേസ് ആണോ എന്നൊരു ജഡ്ജ്മെൻറ്റിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് ചെല്ലും. നെവർ ഡു ദാറ്റ്. സെറ്റിംഗ് വായിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് മാത്രം നമുക്ക് ഒരിക്കലും നോൺ കേസ് ആണോ അൺനോൺ കേസ് ആണോ എന്ന് ഒരു കൺക്ലൂഷനിലേക്ക് വരാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. യു ഹാവ് ടു റീഡ് ത്രൂ ദ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ടു ഗെറ്റ് ദാറ്റ് ഡീറ്റെയിൽ. ഈ ഒരു ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ വായിച്ചു കഴിയുമ്പോൾ മാത്രമേ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് കോണ്ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ഡീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ളൊരു പ്രോപ്പർ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുള്ളൂ. സോ ഡു നോട്ട് റഷ് ഇൻ ടു ദി കൺക്ലൂഷൻ വെദർ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് എ നോൺ കേസ് ഓർ എൻ അൺനോൺ കേസ് ജസ്റ്റ് ബൈ റീഡിംഗ് ദ സെറ്റിംഗ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ വി ആർ ഗോയിങ്. Am I not audible? If you guys feel like I'm not audible, please let me know, okay? Could you please post a comment if I'm audible for you guys? I hope I'm audible for you guys. If I'm not, please do let me know, okay? Alright, so let's begin. So I hope you guys have a pen or a book or anything handy with you, so you can make notes as well as create sentences when you give a chance, and you can type in the sentences which I'm showing here, so that I'll go through that and give you the corrections, and I'll come with a good sentence how you can explain each task. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do when you get a cue card is to analyze where the entire conversation is taking place, and you're going to get that information from the setting mentioned here. So when you read through this cue card, you can see it is clearly mentioned it is taking place in an accident and emergency department. So that is where your conversation is taking place. Now, what is the importance of this particular thing? When you introduce yourself, when you say your name, your role, you can also mention from which department you are from. So that is the importance of this particular thing. Also, the importance of setting is to know where the conversation is taking place. So depending on that, you can modulate your entire conversation following later. Okay. So after you realize which is the setting, the next thing you have to do is to go through the background information very importantly. You have to go through that very carefully, because you can pick a lot of relevant details from there. So let's go through this line by line and figure out what are the important details here. Okay, so yes, you're talking to a concerned parent who brought his or her son who fell down from the stairs and is hurt. He has few bruises and his right leg is swollen. The emergency department is swamped with accident cases and you are short-staffed. As a result, you couldn't attend the boy on time. The parent is so frustrated, offered to examine. So now I'm going to show you how you can break down the details here, and then once we start with the tasks, I'll give you a chance for you to create sentences. Okay? Yes. So the first thing you have to know is that what is the situation you're dealing with. So when we read the first line, we can see you're talking to a concerned parent there. So we can see that the parent is really concerned about what? Because she has brought her son who fell down from the stairs and is hurt. He has few bruises and his right leg is swollen. Okay, that is just a finding that you have got. The emergency department is swamped. Some explanation that you have to give with accident cases and you're short-staffed. As a result, you couldn't attend the boy on time. The parent is so frustrated. Again, this is very important. Whenever the emotional status of the patient is mentioned in the cue card, that is going to be a very relevant detail for you to build your conversation later. Because when you relate to the emotional context, you're having a good relationship building there. And also you're trying to understand the patient's perspective as well. So you're actually getting a good score. So you have to always look out for emotional context which are mentioned there. Okay. So also after once we finish this, we can also see one line which is mentioned, offer to examine. So whenever something like this is mentioned in your background information, and if this particular examination part is not mentioned in any of your tasks, this is called a hidden task. Okay, hidden task means നമ്മുടെ ടാസ്കിന്റെ ലിസ്റ്റിൽ അത് മെൻഷൻഡ് ആയിരിക്കില്ല, ബട്ട് യു ആർ സപ്പോസ് ടു ഡു ദിസ് ഇൻ ദ എൻറ്റയർ കോൺവെർസേഷൻ. ആ ഒരു കോൺവെർസേഷൻ്റെ ലോജിക്കൽ ഫ്ലോയ്ക്ക് ദിസ് ഇസ് വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ യു ഹാവ് ടു ഓൾവേസ് ലുക്ക് ഔട്ട് ഫോർ വെദർ യു ആർ ഹാവിംഗ് എനി പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഹിഡൻ ടാസ്ക് ഇൻ യുവർ റോൾ പ്ലേ കാർഡ്, in your background information. In this one, this is your hidden task. Okay, chala cue cards la you suspect the patient has anemia or you suspect the patient has asthma, angane endingalokke aayirikkum ningade hidden task varunathu. So hidden task is nothing but those are also tasks which are not mentioned in your points given below, but you are supposed to do that, and when you pick out that very brilliantly and execute that in your role play, you are going to get a good score there. Okay, so these are the different details that you get from the background information. Now, what is the importance of background information? Background information is going to help you to build your opening statement. Opening statement is nothing but നമ്മുടെ introduction കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ടാസ്കിലേക്ക് കയറുന്നതിന് മുന്നേ നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ആണ് opening statement. So from this we can figure it out. So now it's your turn. How can you prepare an opening statement for this one? Can you please type in a message? Yes, if if you guys can type in how to have an opening statement here, also the introduction for this one, I can go through that, okay? Yes, anyone? How can we have an opening statement with all these details? Because we have the term concerned, we also know that the parent is frustrated, and we also know that the parent is accompanying a little boy here. So including all these details, how can you have a proper opening? Anyone? So since we know that this is an emergency department and nowhere in the cue card is mentioned that we have done any examination, this is completely a fresh case, like it's completely an unknown case. So we can actually start our introduction by saying, good morning, my name is Richa, I'm one of the registered nurses working in this accident and emergency department. After that, how is your opening statement going to be? So as I mentioned that you are having some terms here, so whenever there is an emotional context mentioned in your case note, you can actually relate to that to connect and build a rapport with the patient. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pick these information to start my opening statement. So I'm going to say, after introducing myself, I'm going to say, I can see that you look so upset. Okay, because the word here given is frustrated, I cannot tell that you're looking frustrated. Okay, so instead of that, I'm saying, I can see that you look so upset. How can I help you? Is everything all right? Or you can use this term. You can say, you're looking a little bit concerned. Is everything all right? So we have Gayatri Ajit saying, I can see that you're so frustrated. May I know the reason? That's a brilliant sentence. Okay, that's good. Otherwise, you can also come by saying generally, just normally, if you're not using the emotional context here, you can also say, how can I help you? That would be also fine, okay? But it is always better to use the emotional context which is mentioned there so that you can connect a little more with the patient, which is going to increase your score there, all right? So after that, what is next? When you ask for the concern, since it is a reluctant case, we are going to see how this mother is going to fight with us. Literally, she is going to fight with us, and how we are going to tackle the situation. Okay. So before that, we are getting few responses. Reginald Jose is saying, I can see that you're a little bit nervous. Is there anything bothering you? Which is good. I can see that you look upset, said by BG Manu. This is a good sentence too. However, I would like to point out a slight mistake there, BG. It should be, I can see that you look upset. You should not use looks with you. That is a slight error, but still a good sentence. Aina is saying, I'm really sorry for the delay. Okay, so I'm really sorry for the delay is an explanation which should come once we start the tasks. Okay, so that's a good sentence, Aina, but we have to wait for that when we start with the task. All right. Anjana Jamun is saying, I can see that you look so upset. Okay, again, that's a good sentence, but still a slight mistake there. You can say, I can see that you're looking upset. All right. So that is your opening statement. So I know that you're all good with creating opening statements, which is really good. So always make sure whenever the emotional context is mentioned, go for that and also connect with the patient there. After that, since it is a reluctant case, we cannot expect this mother to be giving a very good answer when we ask, how can I help you, or you look upset, may I know the reason? She's not going to say that. Instead, she's going to shout at you by asking you, where were you? We were waiting for so long and you didn't approach us or didn't give any treatment for my son. How could you do this? And she will be reacting so badly to you. What will you do at that time? So we are going to start with that. Okay, so we can see that we have the task 1 here, that is address the concerns, politely explain that the emergency department is very busy today, accident cases, staff shortage, ask to elaborate what exactly happened. So this is the answer to her concern. So once we ask what happened to you, we are going to explain this part there. Okay, so let's see, address the concerns, right? So in task number 1, our first part which we are going to do is we are going to address what? Her concerns. Okay. In the second part, We are going to say politely explain that the emergency department is very busy today. So we have to say emergency department very busy because there are a lot of accident cases and staff shortage. And we have to ask her to elaborate what happened. So there are these many things to do. So if I break it down into 3 different parts, address the concerns, we already did it. When you ask the patient or when you ask the bystander, you look little upset. May I know the reason why or what is bothering you? You're actually addressing the concern. So that is done. Even to your answer writer, the mother will be shouting at you. So you're going to explain this part as an answer to that. So how will you do that? Can you create a sentence for this? Politely explain. How can you politely explain here? Yes, you can create your sentences and we will go through that. Okay, I'll give you some time to look through that and create a sentence. I have underlined the main points there. Using those main points, you can create a sentence. I'll go through a couple of sentences and I'll give you my sentence there. Okay, so shoot your sentences. I'll go through that. So we finished this part. Now we have to politely explain why the delay was there. And then we have to explain that to the mother and then we have to ask what happened. Keep in mind she is reluctant, okay? So when you create a sentence, it has to be very polite there, okay? Yes. So we have Julie Joseph who is saying, I really apologize for your inconvenience. I know that being a mother, it is a very difficult situation you are going through. That's a good sentence. I really liked it, okay? Gayatri Ajit is saying, I really apologize for the difficult you faced. Good sentence, Gayatri. A slight mistake there. You do not have to say I'm really apologize. You simply have to say I apologize, or you can say I really apologize, okay, for the difficulty you faced. All right, but that's a good sentence, beautiful sentence. Go ahead. Anyone else? So that I can give you my sentence too. Okay, so this is the place where I'll be giving you live corrections. So if you would like to know what are the mistakes that you commonly make, this is your chance for that. So you can post in your comments as well as the sentences. So I can go through that and get you the corrections, okay? Alright, Jasmine Joseph is saying, I'm so sorry to hear that. I can understand your child's situation. I'm here to help you. Good. So here you have said, I'm so sorry to hear that, which is a really good sentence. You are politely saying that. And you're saying, I can understand your child's situation. Okay. A slight mistake there. It should not be child's situation. It should be child's. Child apostrophe yes. Okay. I'm here to help you. Very good. Regimal is saying, I'm sorry for the inconvenience from our side and I promise that it won't happen again. Very beautiful sentence. That's a good one. Okay. Being a mother, I can understand your situation. I'm apologize for the delay. It's because of emergency department is very busy. Dahlia John. Good try, Dahlia. The sentence construction is really good. Okay, you can make slight changes there. You can say, being a mother, I can understand your situations. Instead of I'm apologize, you can say, I apologize for the delay. It is because the emergency department is very busy today and we are short-staffed. You can have a complete sentence like that, but the construction is good. Gayatri Ajit is telling you another sentence. I know it must be really hard for a mother, but emergency department is very busy today and staff shortage. Slight mistake there. You can say, I know it must be really hard for you, but please try to understand the emergency department is very busy today and we have less staff. Okay. And we have Satmutu, okay. I really apologize for the inconvenience that has caused. I know it must be frustrating for you. Good sentence, good going. Yes, so those are really good sentences. So let's see how we can, how we can attend to this particular task. So if I have to go with this, I will say, I understand you are having a rough time. But please try to understand that the emergency department is very busy today as there are a lot of accident cases. Moreover, we are short-staffed. But I know that is not a justification for the rough experience you have had. This is what you have to do. And this is what is missing in all of your speaking too. when you give an explanation to a reluctant or an agitated case, like why there was a delay in the treatment, never show a defensive mechanism. Okay, that is where everybody's role play goes wrong, because when you're trying to defend yourself by saying that this is my reason, please try to understand, I couldn't attend because of this problem and there were not enough staff. So when you're trying to be defensive there, you are making the patient or the bystander more agitated and they're not going to be convinced with you. So never try a defensive mechanism by defending yourself. Instead, you can say a sentence like this, okay? I understand you had a really rough experience from our side. I'm sorry for the delay. It was caused because our emergency department is very busy today because of many accident cases and staff shortage. But I understand it is not a genuine explanation for the rough experience you have had. I'll ensure this will not happen again. Then, without stopping there, you can move on to the next point. Could you please tell me what exactly happened so I can help you? That is how you smoothly deviate from the reluctance you are facing in this particular part. Is that clear for you guys? So what I have done is that I didn't use a defensive mechanism, but I explained why I was late. Also, I told her that is not a justification. I understand that too. And I'll ensure this will not happen again. I'm giving an assurance too. And then I'm not stopping there. Politely, I'm moving forward. Could you please tell me what happened to your child so that I can help you? See, that is how you can do it. Is that clear for you guys? I hope it is. All right. So, let's move on to the next task. Okay, so tell me if it is visible for you guys, okay? So, we do have 6 tasks to cover. So, let's move on to the next task, okay? So, in task number 2, you can see, tell the parent that he has some bruises and is swelling on his right leg, okay? So, how can you come to this task? Because task 1 and task 2 തമ്മിൽ നോക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ task 1 നമ്മൾ എന്ത് പറ്റി എന്നാണ് ചോദിക്കുന്നത്. That is our previous conversation. Okay. Task 2 we are telling that the boy is having some bruises and swelling on his right leg. How can you jump from that to that? Any idea? Any idea for anyone? How can you do that? Previous conversation ആയിട്ടുള്ള what happened ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ the mother is going to tell you, okay, this is what happened, he was playing and he fell down and I'm really worried, he's having swelling on his hand and she's so concerned. So how will you move from that task to this one? How can you do that? Because there should be a connection, right? So how? Go for your sentences. Yes, so if I have to mark the keywords here, tell the parent that he has some bruises, so that is some information that you have to provide, also swelling. But you cannot just directly jump into this task, right? You need to have a connection with your previous task. So how will you do that? May I examine your child from Jasmine Joseph? Exactly, that is brilliant. Because if you look into this particular task, okay, just a minute. If you look here, I have told you we have something known as hidden task, right? That is offer to examine. So this is where it comes handy for you guys. Because second task il nammal parayunnathu findings aanu. So the findings like you need to have an examination, right? Without that you can't do it. Okay? So this is where the hidden task plays. You understand, guys? So that is where you're going to use it. So let's look into the second task here. Okay. So in the second task, we are going to explain the findings, as I mentioned, some bruises and swelling on his right leg. Now, this is where you actually ask permission to examine. But one more thing, examine cheyanam ennulla karyathilekku do not directly jump into it. You need to acknowledge that concern. How can you do that? Okay, because in the previous task we are asking her what happened, so she is going to explain what happened, right? Appo adinoru acknowledgement nammal kodutittu mathram venam ee oru task like varanayittu. Okay, so you can say, oh, that must have been really terrifying. May I examine your child? Eppudum adu cheya. Always acknowledge the concern, because when you acknowledge the concern, you are making the patient or the bystander feel more comfortable, and that is going to help you get more score. Trust me, it will. Okay, so do not rush into your task. Always spend some time to acknowledge the concern and then do your task. Okay, so here we are going to explain, may I examine your child? So she is saying, yeah, okay, fine, do that. And as a result from that, you are going to say this sentence. Okay, so we do have some people who are saying how we can offer the examination. If you don't mind, may I examine your child? Preeti Noble, yes, you're missing that I there, but correct sentence. Gayatri Achit, can I examine the child's leg? Absolutely. Instead of using the child's leg, you can say, can I examine your child's leg? Okay. Biji, if you don't mind, may I examine your child? Absolutely correct. Before going further discussion, may I examine your child? She marks a good sentence. Instead of saying before going further discussion, you can say before going into further discussion. Okay. Dahlia, with your permission, can I assess your child affected area? Based on my examination, your child has some bruises and a swelling on his right leg. Good. So here you can say, may I examine your child? With your permission, may I examine your child? So she is letting you examine him. So you're saying, based on my examination, I can find some bruises and swelling on his right leg. But don't worry, let me look into it. Okay, so that's how you're going to do task number 2. Is it clear for you guys? It is a pretty direct task. There is no other particular details that you have to do. You need to do the hidden task which is mentioned in the background information. From that, you have to pick the information and explain this. Okay. For the connection, you just need an acknowledgement statement, and then you are offering the examination, and then you're giving the findings there. Okay. And then you're finishing it off. But once you finish it off, give some comforting statements like, but don't worry, let me look into it. Or you can say, don't worry, you have reached the right place. We will do the needful. Some comforting statements there. Okay, so that is your task number 2. Now let's look into task number 3. So in task number 3, it mentions, inform the parent you will check the vitals and do the necessary treatment. Clean the wound, look for sprain, fracture or any complications. How can you do that? Okay, so you have your sentence here. I'll give you few seconds. Okay, create a sentence. Inform the parent you will check the vitals and do the necessary treatment. Clean the wound, look for sprain, fracture or any complications. Okay, so here you're informing the parent. So this is your action word here. What are you informing? That you will check the vitals and do the necessary treatment. This is what you're explaining. And this is something that is mentioned about what you're going to do in the necessary treatment. So how are you going to do this? Yes, the statement is yours. You can create a sentence. Yes. How can we do that? So we have the keywords check the vitals and the necessary treatment can be done. This is what you're going to inform. So if you're trying to connect this task to the previous one, you need an acknowledgement there also. So before you start with the task, make sure that you find an acknowledgement, a suitable acknowledgement statement there too. Okay, so how can you do that? Yes, I'm waiting for the sentences. While you're creating sentences, always watch out for the keywords. So as I have mentioned, you can see the keywords here. So we have Reggie Mall. She's saying, now it is very important to check your child's vital signs. So may I proceed? That's a beautiful sentence, Reggie. I really liked it. Okay. Now it's important to check your child's vital signs. So may I proceed? Good job. That is good. Any other sentences? Yes. Look out for your keywords and create your sentences. It's your turn to get the corrections. Okay, you can do it. Dali is saying, okay, now we'll check your child vitals like BP, pulse and temperature. Is it okay with you? All right. So now what happened here is you guys are only mentioning about the vitals. Okay, we do have one more point here. We need to also mention about the necessary treatment. So you have to include that also in your statement. So try a sentence like that. So we have Anu Maria saying, Mrs. X, shall I check your child's vital signs for further treatment? That's a very beautiful sentence, okay? Good one. Good job, Anu. Gayatri Ajit is saying, please don't be upset. Let me check his temperature now and then I can do the necessary treatments. Good sentence, Gayatri. That's also a nice one. Yes, anyone else? Rishi and Ryan, I know that your child is suffering too much. Kindly allow me to check vital signs. That is a beautiful sentence. Always you have to go for, different formations like this. You do not have to follow a particular systematic explanation of a particular sentence. You can come up with your own versatile sentences. You're free to do that because this is an exam which assesses your ability to communicate fluently, right? So go for it. That sentence is really beautiful. Rushan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. However, that's a really good sentence. I know that your child is suffering too much. Kindly allow me to check his vitals. Also, you can add the necessary treatment as well, okay? Yes, so it's time for me to give you the sentence. So I'm going to create a sentence here. So as the connection to the previous one where we have finished by saying, don't worry, you have reached the right place. We will do the needful. I am going to explain this, okay? So as a part of his treatment, I need to check his vitals because it is very important to make sure that he is stable. Okay, so based on that, we can decide upon the necessary treatments for him. All right, so during that, in the meantime, I can clean the wound. Also, I can make arrangements to look for any sprain or fracture he might be having or any other complication. So may I proceed? I included everything there. Okay, so we have Kiran Ravindran saying, would you mind if I check his vitals and initiate his treatment? Very good sentence. That's nice. Venus Sujit, before proceeding to the treatment, can I check the vital signs? Is it okay for you? Very good. Really good sentence. Okay. So once again, I'll tell you the sentence here. You can say, I'll explain what I'm going to do next. It is very important that I check his vitals to decide on the necessary treatment he requires. In the meantime, I can also clean the wound. Also, I make arrangements to look or find out whether he's having any sprain or fractures. Also, whether we have to make sure that he's not having any complications. So that is how you can complete task number 3. So we have Dahlia John saying, and I will provide appropriate treatments like firstly, I'll clean the wound. Secondly, I'll check any sprain or fracture or any complication. May I proceed? Good sentence. Okay, I really like the way you signposted there, like firstly, secondly. Good one. Shima is saying, I can understand your child's condition. Could you please let me to check the vital signs? Good one. Okay, so that is with task number 3, where you're saying, I understand, don't worry, this is the last conversation here. So after this second task, you're going to say, don't worry, you have reached the right place. I will do the needful or we will do the needful, and then you're saying, so I'll explain what we are going to do next. It is very important that I check his vitals so that we can decide upon the necessary treatment for him. In the meantime, I'll also clean the wound, also make arrangements to look out for any sprain or fracture he might have, also any other complications. Okay, so may I proceed? It is very important that you take that permission here. Okay, permission is very important. Do not ever rush into your task by just giving any order or any comments to the patient or the bystander. Always take permissions from there. Okay, so that is with your task number 3. Good sentences. I'm really liking the sentences that you guys are creating. Guys are brilliant. Good job. Yes, shall we move to the next one? So in task number 4, we can see when the parent is reluctant and asks for the doctor, inform that the doctor is busy with a critically ill patient. Yes, this is what I was waiting for. The patient is being reluctant. So why is the patient when the patient is going to be reluctant? When you ask permission from the patient to check for the vitals, as well as to decide on what treatment, when you do or complete this particular task, you can expect a really bad reaction from the mother. She is going to say that, no, I don't want you to do it. Okay, you wasted a lot of time. You didn't even pay attention to my child, so I don't trust you. So I want a doctor. How can you convince her? Go for a sentence. So this is a very tricky area where we have to actually convince a reluctant patient, and this is where you have to think tactfully about how you can convince the patient without hurting her feelings. Okay, so how can you do that? Yep. So whenever you read the tasks, it is very evident when you read the next one, you can always come to know what is going to happen in the next task. നമ്മൾ ഈ ഒരു ടാസ്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമുക്കറിയാം, നമ്മളിത് ചെയ്ത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു ടാസ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഈ വാക്ക് കണ്ടപ്പോഴേ നമുക്കറിയാം ഇവിടെ പേഷ്യൻ്റ് റിലക്റ്റൻ്റ് ആവാൻ പോവുകയാണെന്ന്, റൈറ്റ്? സോ യു ക്യാൻ ആക്ച്വലി പ്രീ പ്ലാൻ യുവർ സെൻറ്റൻസ്. യു ആർ ഗെറ്റിംഗ് എ പ്ലസ് പോയിന്റ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് ലൈക്ക് an additional point for you that you are getting a chance to pre plan your next statement, because ഈ ഒരു ടാസ്ക് കണ്ടപ്പോഴേ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി നമ്മളിവിടെ എന്താണോ പറയാൻ പോകുന്ന ഈ ഒരു ടാസ്കിൽ the patient is not going to accept it. Okay, so we know the patient is going to be reluctant, so how can you tackle the situation? Creative sentences. I'm waiting for you guys. I know that you guys can create good sentences, because so far I'm getting really good sentences from you guys, which is too amazing. Okay, I have to tell you, very good sentences. So yes, we have Jasmine Joseph saying, sorry Mr. X, I need your patience. Okay, that is fine, but I need a little more something stronger. Okay, because someone is being patient, reluctant here, so we cannot just tell them, I need your patience. Okay, we need to come with little more strong yet polite statements. Think of it, you guys can do it. Yes. So the first thing you have to do in task number 2 is you have to make sure that you're actually consoling her to relax. We need to tell her that yes, I understand your reluctance, and say something else and then move into the next task. Okay, so yes, we have Reggie Moore saying, I know being a mother, it is very painful to see a child in such a condition, but your child's condition is stable now. Okay, yes, that is also a good sentence, but still we are not referring to the reluctance here. Come on guys, how can you do that? Yes. Lisha, at this moment, doctor is busy with a patient who is critically ill, but don't worry, he will be here within few minutes. Meantime, I would check and record all the necessary things so that it would help to move to immediate management as soon as he arrives. It should be like that, okay? That's a very good sentence. I liked your sentence construction, but still you are not referring to the reluctance. I'm looking for this. Whenever you see this term, you have to come with a statement which is referring to this area. Anyone? Anu is saying, I appreciate your concern. It must be very difficult for you, but in this time, the doctors are very busy with the critically ill patient. Please wait for some time as soon as I arrange a consultation for you. Really good sentence, okay? But before this, again, you need to refer to this. How can you actually address a patient who is reluctant, or make him understand that yes, I understand your reluctance? How can you make him comfort, how can you comfort that patient or a bystander there? Jancy, if I were you, I would have also responded same way. As a mother, I can understand your feelings. The doctor is attending a critically ill patient. Before he comes and see you, I will check your child's vital signs. Can I proceed? That's a good sentence. I liked it, okay? Jancy, that's a really nice sentence. You have somehow mentioned about if I were in your position, I would also react the same way. But again, we are not referring to the reluctance. Okay, we have Vinu is saying, okay, I understand your concern. Let me complete the things now. By the time the doctor will come. Now he is busy with another seriously ill patient. Okay, all right, guys. So that's a good sentence, by the way, Vinu. All right. However, I'm going to take you through this task. Okay. So before getting into this, we can see there are two areas where you have to pay attention. Okay, the first area is where the patient is being reluctant, and then you also have to inform the doctor is busy. So there are two things, but the main thing you have to keep in mind is that doctor is busy with the critically ill patient, and nammal your concerned mother nodu parayumbara, since she is already reluctant, she is not going to accept the fact that the doctor is not attending to her child and he is attending to someone else. Okay, so she's going to be upset there. So point പറയുമ്പോഴും you have to be very tactful there. Okay, I'll get into that, but before that, let's see how you can speak when you see this word in your cue card. Okay, learn this sentence, guys. All right, you can say, I can understand that you are reluctant. Okay, or you can say, I understand your reluctance. Okay, but I assure you that I have your best interest at heart. You can say the sentence, I understand your reluctance, but I assure you that I have your best interest at heart. The meaning of this statement is that നിങ്ങളുടെ റിലക്റ്റൻസ് എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും, പക്ഷേ ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ പറയാൻ പോകുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ നന്മയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ കുട്ടിയുടെ നന്മയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ്. So since we are referring to the child here, you can say, I can understand your reluctance, but I assure you that I have the best interest for your child. Okay, so you can create a good sentence like that. This sentence is going to really improve your score, because when you say this sentence, it is a very well constructed as well as a very unique statement which is not commonly used by everyone. It is not, it is not very common, so you can go for that. Okay, so that is the first thing you have to do. You have to always refer to this particular area. You have to say, I understand your reluctance. Okay, and as someone else said, you can also say, I understand your reluctance. If I were you, I would also react the same way. You should make her feel like it is a common way to react. There is nothing wrong with the way she is reacting, and you totally understand it. And also make sure that your voice modulation is the best of the voice modulation you can keep there, because if you sound a little bit offensive or if you sound defensive, like you're defending yourself, you're going to get a less score there. Okay, always make sure you have the best voice modulation when you're trying to explain that you understand the reluctance of the bystander. So that is the first statement you can say here. Then you have to move on to the next one. But here, as I mentioned, the mother won't be very happy to know that the doctor is really busy with someone else and not her child. Even we won't be happy to know that, right? Because we are paying the bill or we are paying the taxes, so we do have the right to get the treatment at the right time. Especially we are referring to a small child here, okay? And there might be a possibility he might have a broken hand or leg because he fell down from the stairs too, right? So you have to be very tactful here. So you can say a good sentence like this, okay? I do understand that you want to see the doctor, but I'm afraid the doctor is currently busy with a critically ill patient. But don't worry, we are all there to assist your child, and we will make sure that he is safe. You have to add that statement there. Do not simply finish your sentence by saying the doctor is busy with another patient. She's not going to be happy with it, guys. Okay, so this is how we are going to do task number 4. Alright, so let's go over task number 4 once again. You can say, I understand your reluctance, but I assure you that I have the best interest for your child at my heart. Okay, and I do know that you want to see the doctor, but I'm afraid the doctor is currently busy attending to another critically ill patient. But don't worry, we are all there to help your child, and he will be safe with us. Good, that is your 4th task. So then you can don't stop there. Okay, you have to add on, may I proceed, because our main intention is to check the vitals, right? So we're trying to convince her for that, so you have to say, may I proceed. Okay, so that is your task number 4. So we do have a few more sentences. So we have Natsina saying, I can completely understand your reason for reluctance. If I were you, I would also react the same way. Very good, good sentence. And we have Rizhan Ryan, sorry for the inconvenience. I know you're really worried about your child. Unfortunately, our doctor is busy with a critically ill patient. Please cooperate with me. That's also a good sentence. Shima is saying, sorry, I can understand your feelings as a mother, but please try to understand that the doctor is very busy with a critically ill patient. After 5 or 10 minutes, he will definitely attend to your child. Okay, very good. All the sentences are really nice. Smita is saying, it's understandable to react in this way. Okay, good sentence. Matthew is saying, I do understand your concern. As a specialized nurse, I can manage with your child's condition. At present, doctor is busy with a critical patient. He will come and assess your child within a few minutes. Very good, brilliant sentence, Matthew. Okay, so that is all beautiful. I'm so happy to see the brilliant construction that you guys are having here. Just one addition, ningalella sentence kariyumbo, just make sure that you're giving the assurance the child is safe. Okay, just add on that. Other than that, everything is brilliant. Okay, so that being said, let's move on to the next task. So we have task number 5. Try to convince the angry parent to take the vitals and inform him or her that you will provide the adequate care. So when you read this, it is clearly understandable that ഇവിടെ ഇത്രയും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടും she is not going to agree you to take the vitals. That means ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ എത്ര നല്ല statements പറഞ്ഞാലും that is not going to help you to convince the reluctant or agitated parent here. Okay, so we are again trying to convince. Okay, we are again trying to convince the angry parent. Something very important, to take the vitals and inform him or her that you will provide the adequate care. So this is something that you have to add on to this particular sentence. Yes. How can you create a sentence for this task? Just keep in mind, നമ്മൾ എത്ര beautiful sentences ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടും she is not letting you do to take the vitals. So what sentence can you use here to convince her to take the vitals of the boy? Go for it. Yes. You have to come with a really good convincing statement, guys, because we know this mother is really angry. I can sense that here, okay, because although we said a lot of beautiful things here, we just try to convince her that I understand your reluctance, and we also said if I were, I would also react the same way, and we also said I'm a specialist nurse, I'll take care of your child, but still she's not letting you take the vitals. So this is your chance to convince her in another level. How can you do that? So we have Gayatri Ajit saying, I can really sense your situation, but please let me check his vitals so that once the doctor came, so it should be once the doctor comes, we can provide him adequate treatment without any delay. Good. So this is the main important point that you have to say, okay? So here what you're going to try to say is that we are going to explain the requirement of vitals. Okay, so the common mistake I have seen here is that the nurses normally say it is my job, I have to do it because I've been assigned to take his vitals. Never go for any sentences like that. If the mother feels like you're doing this for the sake of safeguarding your job, she's not going to let you do it. So never do that. Always keep in mind, നമ്മൾ ഇത് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത് it is for the boy's betterment. Okay, so this is what you are going to check, you're going to say. Okay, do not simply say it is my job or it is what I've been assigned to do. Okay, when the doctor comes, he will ask me for the vitals, so it is important I do that. No, never ever tell this sentence to the concerned parent or bystander or the patient. It should be something like, I'm doing it to make sure that your boy is stable. Okay, so you should make her feel like, okay, this is something very important for my boy's survival, or they need to know whether my boy is not, is having any complications or not. So you should come up with a sentence like that. For that, you can say, it's quite understandable that you are reacting this way. Okay, because here we are connecting to the previous statement. While you ask here, may I proceed? She is saying no, so you can say it's quite understandable that you're reacting this way. However, it is significant that I take the vitals, okay, so that once the doctor comes, we can start immediately with the treatment. Moreover, while taking the vitals, I can confirm that your child is stable or not. If at all he is having any sort of complications, we can provide immediate care. This is what you have to say. And never ever ask, is that okay for you after this? Because if you're going to ask, is that okay, this is a reluctant case, she's going to say it's not okay. Don't give a chance for that, okay? Instead, go for some statements like, I hope you understand, I hope that is okay with you, something like that. Do not give her a close-ended question like yes or no, okay? So be brilliant there. So that is how you're going to convince her here, all right? And even after this, if she's not convinced, you guys have to try a little more harder, all right? Yes. Any further sentences for that? So we have Nafsina saying, Mr. X, could you please try to understand that if you will allow me to check your child now, it will help for saving the time and doctor can initiate treatment fastly on arrival. May I proceed to check vitals? Okay, yes. slight grammatical mistakes here and there. I have corrected it while I was reading the sentence. So you just make those corrections there. Okay, Nafsina? And Jancy, I apologize for the delay. I can sense that you are angry and upset. I will assure that the doctor will see your child within few minutes. Before that, I want to make sure that your child is absolutely fine by checking the vital signs. Can I proceed with it? Good sentence, Jancy. Regimal, it is very important to check his vital signs to provide good quality of care to your child, so kindly cooperate with me. Wow, good. I'm getting really beautiful sentences. Anu, I assure you that your child is safe in our hand. Let I check your child vitals signs to keep the record on your child case notes, so the doctor is very easy to consult your child. Good sentence organization, few grammatical mistakes. Okay, you can say, I assure you that your child is safe in our hands. Okay, if you let me check your child's vitals, I can go through it and I can keep the record on the child's case note. So when the doctor comes, it will be very easy to consult your child. You can do it like that. Okay. Vinu is saying, sorry for the inconvenience. Please try to understand. Let me check the vitals to confirm the child present status. It should be child's present status so that we can proceed with the adequate treatment as soon as the doctor comes. Good. Really good sentences, guys. Okay. So you guys are really good to crack OET, I guess. Good job. Yes. So this is how we are going to do it. So whenever you are trying to convince a reluctant parent or a bystander or a patient, the second time you should make sure that you try to convey the message that whatever I'm going to do is for your betterment. It's not for the sake of my job. Okay. So whenever you are getting something like this, where you're trying to check the vitals and you're not getting the permission for that, the second time when you're trying to explain the importance of it, never try to say that it's for my job, I was assigned to do it. Instead, you have to say that it is for making sure that your child is all right. Otherwise, we have to start with immediate care, or when the doctor comes, we can start the treatment immediately without any delay. Okay, always speak for them, make them feel like okay, they're doing something for me. Okay, so likewise you can actually control a reluctant patient there. All right, so we're having Jwala Olivia. So she's saying, I know that you dislike this idea. I really like that sentence, good one. But I have to tell you that checking vital signs really help for assessing child's okay, health, and doctor can provide immediate treatment. Good job. That is a good one. All right, I liked it. Yes. So that being said, let's move on to the last task. Yes. So we do have one more task which is given here. Is it visible for you guys? I hope so. Okay. So it says, reassure the parent that he will be all right soon. Take care of bruises, shock from falling down, needs observation for 24 hours. Okay. So when we read this task, it's quite understandable that our last statement was powerful enough, so she let you take the vitals, right? If she was not happy or she didn't let you, this would not be the same. Okay, this would be something like, okay, tell the patient to wait to see the doctor or something like that. But when you read this task, it's quite understandable that she let you. Finally, your statements are powerful, so she let you do the check the vitals. Okay, so let's assess this particular task. Reassure. Okay, this is something that you have to do in every role plays, and not even a single role play passes without this part. Reassure the parent that he will be all right. Something that the parent is waiting to hear. Take care of bruises, something that you're going to explain. Shock from falling down, so he needs observation for 24 hours. It's a pretty easy task, okay, but I need to see how good you're going to create sentences, so go for it. Okay, so make sure that you include the term reassure and you come with a good statement as in a good acknowledgement statement by connecting to the previous conversation too, because she let you check the vitals. Okay, so as a continuation from that, you have to create a statement for this one, something like, thank you for your cooperation, and then you're checking the vitals, so you can say, I just finished taking the vitals, and then you can confirm this. Okay, so always make sure that you're connecting to the previous task for your better task transition. So create a good sentence for this. Let's go through that. So when you create this sentence, just make sure that you're coming with a really good reassurance statement where the mother, the concerned mother, is going to feel better. Okay. Yes. We are getting some comments for the previous task. Rizhan has said, I can understand your feeling. Please allow me to do the necessary treatment. Anyway, your child is safe in our hands. That's a good sentence. A pretty easy one, but a good sentence. Okay, Rizhan. Lisha is saying, I know you're worried, but it is really essential to check your child's vitals to rule out further complications without any delay. Good sentence, Lisha. That's nice too. Yes. Can you guys come up with a beautiful sentence for task number 6? The last one, reassure. How can you reassure here? Finally, we got the permission to check the vitals. So we check the vitals. So we have to say thank you for the cooperation there, because after a long fight, we got that permission. So we have to extend our gratitude. And then you have to explain that the reassurance. You have to provide the reassurance and explain this task. How can you do that? Okay, so we have Shima Sujit. She is explaining for the previous task. Sorry for the inconvenience. Please try to understand me. If you allow me to proceed, I can give you good care. Please believe me, may I? Okay, that's a good sentence. So Shima, you don't have to say please believe me, okay? Please let me do that. That will be better. And Gayatri is saying a sentence for this task. Thank you for allowing me to take vitals. His vitals are normal and he will be alright soon. However, it is very important to observe him for 24 hours and take care of his bruises. Good sentence. Okay, this good. Just a slight change. I'll create a sentence and show you what is the change that you have to make there. Okay, but Gayatri, that is a good sentence. So Regimal is there with another sentence. I reassure you that your child is alright now. Nothing will happen to him. However, he needs 24 hours observation. Good. That's a good sentence. Reggie, yes, Reggie said that. Minu Anub. Okay. Yes, so I guess I'll come with a sentence for that. So we are reassuring, right? So as Gayatri said, thank you for allowing me to check vitals. You can say, I appreciate your cooperation. Okay, or thank you for letting me check his vitals. His vitals are within the normal limits. Just simply, instead of saying like, if the vitals are normal, you can say a good sentence, a very professional sentence where you're saying your child's vitals are within the normal limits. A very good. I assume you guys use it for your writing, right? Use the same sentence, which is making a little more, it is showing a little more professionalism there. So go for it. Okay, so you can say, thank you so much, or I appreciate your cooperation. Your child's vitals are within the normal limits. However, it is very important that we take care of the bruises that he is having. He's having slight bruises there, okay? But don't worry, I reassure you that he is going to be all right within no time. Moreover, from the fall, he is experiencing a shock. For that, we need to observe him for the next 24 hours. Is that okay with you? That's how you're going to do it. Okay, so we are getting a little more sentences there. So Jancy is saying, I'm very glad as you allow me to check your child's vital signs. You can say, I'm very glad as you allowed, past tense, okay Jancy, allowed me to check your child's vital signs. I assure you that he will be all right soon. However, it is very important to take care of his bruises and he needs to be observed for the next 24 hours. Did you get my point? Okay, so it should not be did you got my point, it should be did you get my point. Did you ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എപ്പോഴും വെർബിൻ്റെ V1 ഫോമാറ്റ് ആയിരിക്കണം നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. So it should be did you get my point. Okay, so Sona, thank you ma'am for your clear explanation. You're very welcome Sona, and thank you for watching. Shima, thank you madam, well explained. You're very welcome. Vinu is saying, thank you for your cooperation. I can assure you that your child will be all right soon. Just be careful about his activities and he needs 24 hours observation. Okay, good sentence. You can just add a little more details we knew there about, he is having a shock from the falling, therefore he requires to be under observation for the next 24 hours. Okay, just mention this point too there. All right, yes, any further sentences? Because we have finished all the 6 tasks and it's almost time up. So any further sentences? All right, that's all I guess. So We have actually covered all the 6 sentences, all the 6 tasks, and we have seen how we can connect to the previous task, have a good transition from one task to that other task, and connect all the keywords and create beautiful sentences. Also, we have seen what you have to do, or what are the good sentences that you can come up with while you are facing a reluctant or an agitated case as well. Okay, so I hope this is easy for you guys. The main important thing what we have studied in this case when you're dealing with a reluctant case is that never sound defensive. Okay, do not show that defensive mechanism there. Instead of that, you have to always speak for the patient, like, this is what happened, but I assure you that this will not happen ever again. So you're giving more importance to the patient there. Always make sure the patient or the bystander is given that importance. Okay, if they are made if they feel important there, they're going to be a little more less arrogant or angry with you. Okay, another thing we learned was to use very strong sentences like, I understand your reluctance, but I assure you that I have your best interest at heart. Okay, or you can say, if I were you, I would also react the same way. Always come with really good sentences like that. Okay, another thing what we have learned is always make sure whatever you are offering or suggesting is not just for the sake of doing your job, but it is for the betterment of the patient who we are taking care of. Okay, so this is how you can tackle reluctant cases. Another simple tip that you have to keep in mind while you're dealing with agitated or reluctant cases is that do not ever give them close-ended questions like, is that okay for you? Okay, because they will always say no, because they have already pre-planned to say no in their mind before they started the role play. So you can expect that from them. So instead of saying a sentence like that, you can use some other sentence like, I hope you understand, I hope that's okay with you. Such sentences there. Alright, and also towards the end, make sure that you're providing a good reassurance and making her feel so good that, or making her give her that assurity that her child is safe with us. Okay, so this is how you're going to tackle the situation. Coming to the conclusion part, don't leave. I need a good conclusion too, because we cannot finish our role play without a good conclusion, right? Like we have a good start, we need to have a good conclusion too. So give me a good conclusion. How can you conclude the sitting? Anyone? So many are saying thank you. Julie, thank you. You're welcome. Jancy, thank you. Jessie, Navsina, Binu, Teresa, Nita. You're all welcome, and thank you so much for staying late and learning from me. Yes, anyone with a good conclusion so that we can wind up the session? Reggie, thank you, ma'am. Your presentation is always very helpful to us. You're very welcome. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm really happy to know that the information that I provide is helping you guys. So I'm so happy to do that. It's kind of like an inspiration for me to come with more sessions. So yes, Gigi has said a sentence. Once again, I assure you that we will provide necessary treatment for your child recovery. However, kindly take care of bruises and prevent from falling down. Moreover, he requires 24 observation. So I guess that is a conclusion. That's a sentence for this one, right, Gigi? Reassure. Okay. Yes. So since I'm not getting any conclusion, I'll give you a conclusion. Okay. So before concluding, you can ask the patient or bystander, that being said, is there anything else bothering you? So she is saying, no, that's okay. So we can say, thank you for your cooperation. The doctor will be here soon and he will address all your concerns. Please be with your child. In the meantime, if you have any concerns, if you require any assistance, feel free to contact me. I'll be glad to help you. And that's how you're going to wind up this session. Okay, so I hope this has been really helpful for you guys. If yes, let me know, and you can post your valuable comments. And if you guys require any further topics that has to be discussed like this in a live session, do let me know that as well. Okay, so that I can come prepared to help you guys based on the requirements of you. Okay, so I hope this was really helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for staying so late and for your cooperation as well. So study hard, practice really hard, and God bless you all guys.